What's up, everybody? Jesse Burdick here for powerlifting.com and the Morning After Mobility Project here. Working our way through and up to chapter 18. So chapter 18, episode 18 is gonna work on our lower leg, and it's gonna require some sort of a bench, some band pegs. So that's why I'm kind of walking around our gym here. I'm gonna show you a couple of different options that you can use. So what I have here, I'm gonna go ahead and turn you guys around right now. What I have here is one of my competition benches. And as you see, I have band pegs, so I've attached a band, run it across the bench to something else. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna be putting our foot here underneath the band. Another option here is if you had a deadlift platform, again, band pegs. What you would do is with that band peg, you're gonna go ahead and have attached to something that will go over. You put a box there, you put your hand or your foot underneath it, etc. If we walk over here, any of the rigs nowadays are usually going to have some sort of band peg underneath, just like these guys do. Hook that band on that, and then go ahead and create what you need to create here, okay? So, just give you a couple of ideas of how to set that up. All of them are fine. It's just a matter of what you have at your disposal. I want to be able to show you guys stuff that you can use often and repeatedly, opposed to just being at somebody's gym, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up for now, and then I'm going to turn around and jump in and kind of chat with you guys. So this is going to be a continuation on kind of our lower leg series, if you will, of all the ankle, tibularis, fibularis, that leads into kind of the calf. That's going to go ahead and attach itself to a lot of knee problems, etc. It's also going to have a lot to do with kind of upstream, downstream of people's hips, etc. So what this was is one day, I think I was wearing squat Olympic lifting shoes with a heel, and my ankle mobility just started to go to just was terrible, and I ended up seeing one of our Olympic lifters here, Ian Droz, doing a drill where he was in his shoes and shoving his knee really, really far forward and had kind of literally the bar put on it. And for the life of me, I couldn't get in that position. But what I found out was I just kind of created this. I needed a little bit more room for me to kind of get underneath that stretch to make it work. So what I created was this. Again, band's going to go across something. And what I did was, this is a pretty thick band. This is a light band. This is a stretch that I use with Jackie Perez. She ended up using a mini band, just to kind of give you guys some reference. I think it's good to have a bar there. Helps you get up. It's going to go around your knee or wherever it's comfortable. Trying to point our toe forward. What we're going to do is we're going to let that knee kind of drift over that toe, and then once it gets to a point where you're like, all right, that's enough, what we're going to do is get our intention to go down, and that's why we need this bench or a box or whatever you have, because now you can really put the pressure on the ankle itself, in the calf, and everything else, and everything is just there, opposed to everything really being pointed forward and on your toes. And I tried that, and everything would just cramp, and it would just feel really terrible. So what I needed to create was something in this area where, as you can see, I mean, as far as the squat goes, this is about as low as I would ever be able to possibly get. So, and that's only because I'm shoving this leg down. And that's really starting to open up that ankle. And what you can do is once we've been in it for about 30 seconds, we can kind of start to move, rock a little forward, bring that exvert the knee a little bit. And you should really just feel that whole heel cord start to open up and your foot start to relax, and hopefully just get into everything that's going on underneath, kind of underneath just your knee. Not necessarily in the knee, but underneath, meaning your lower leg. People think a lot when they're squatting about either forcing, their intention east-west, pushing into their feet, or throwing their heels down. But a lot of times people don't even think about their feet or their toes whatsoever. So a lot of times they just kind of they just let things happen to it. And this is going to really allow you to feel what's going on there and feel where you want to go. I had someone do it and they ended up looking like this, and they're like, oh my God, that's a comfortable position for me. I was like, that's insane. So we had to work out that calf a lot in order for them to get to a position where their knee was directly over their toe, or being able to force it out because their hip was so just internally rotated. They weren't able to externally rotate things and really get any sort of power out of their hips or hamstrings. So this is something that's going to allow you to just get in a good position, a position that you've probably seen, maybe even tried to get into. But this is just going to be a nice cheap way, a cheater way, if you will, to kind of get into it. Again, if we're going to try and stand over ourselves, sometimes that's not great. We need to have something to kind of go down a little bit to really, really get the power out of a stretch. I'm just going to go ahead and sit back down here for a second, because it's been about 2 or 3 minutes. So again, nuts and bolts of the operation here. We need some sort of a band. This is about a light band, which I keep getting questions about. I guess it's about 1 inch thick. I don't really know. Some people have bands listed by width. I really don't know. I think this is about 1 inch or so. It's a good amount of tension when stretched across it's about 5 feet or so. Again, this is one of my competition benches, which has band pegs. Some sort of a deadlift platform with band pegs would be a usable and a good idea with a box. Any sort of a band peg or even a J-hook setup on the bottom of a rig. And again, a box that allows you to get on the side and get that knee down so you can really get everything lower leg-wise opened up. That's going to be the way that you guys kind of approach this, give you a couple of ideas of how to do it. Start off with a lighter band and just kind of progress from there. As you saw, it's something that's not so uncomfortable that you can't talk through it and be there for 2 to 3 minutes per leg. It's really going to help kind of get everything kind of opened up after a squat session, and maybe even before a squat session. Really kind of open up the ankle, lower leg, tib, fib, and be able to allow you to articulate that knee out in the way that you want to be able to sit into those hips and those hamstrings. So that's it. Good luck, guys. Give it a try. Let us know how you do, and we'll see you next time.